Hello and welcome to Hey Mando, the podcast on the Merc Movie Blog Podcast Network, where we talk about the Mandalorian. This is it. This is the final episode of season 2. Ooh, I'm echoing. Oh, I'm listening. It's because I had the thing up in another tab because I was getting the link for Twitter, and then I heard myself twice, and it threw me off.
Twice as invested.
Yes, I am twice as invested.
Yes.
This is the final episode. This was the final episode of season 2. Not of the show. We'll be back for season 3, and maybe, we'll do some other stuff in between with other Star Wars shows. Who knows? But for now, this is our final episode. Definitely the final episode of season 2 of Hey Mando. I am your host, Shawn, and I'm joined as always by Jay Wade. Hello, Wade.
Hello, man. Real quick, when I was 5 years old, this is a true story too. When I was 5 years old, and I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater for the first time around this age, and I remember I got out of the bath one night, and I was taking a bath by myself, so mom and dad went around. I got out of the bath one night, and I took my towel and I put it on me like a diaper, and I got an empty toilet paper roll, and I was baby Luke. Like, okay. I'm serious. Like, in my mind, I was like, I was baby Luke, and it was so awesome, dude. And that's all I'm going to say right now.
That's a great story. It
was lovely.
I got a similar story. About a year ago, I was taking a bath by myself. Okay. And they have the handles on the side of the bath so you can help get in and out and stuff. I was getting out of the bath. I got my foot caught in the handle, fell forwards, out of the bath, fractured my toe. Point is that sometimes you think you can do something as an adult that you could do when you were younger, and it doesn't always work. Moving on.
Hello, Dean. The
newest. Hi, guys. I have feelings about this episode. Let's go.
The newest addition to Hey Mando this season. Also one of my favorite additions to Hey Mando this season, Dean.
Yep.
So I'm going to warn you guys right now. We're going full spoilers. There's no way to talk about this episode without full spoilers.
So quick, go watch all 8 episodes and come back.
Yes. All 16. Watch season 1 first. Season 1 might have been better. We'll talk about it. But this episode 16 overall, episode 8 of season 2, The Rescue, directed by Peyton Reed, written by Jon Favreau. Can we just, before we get into the thing, can we talk about Peyton Reed?
Sure.
I think he did a fantastic job directing this episode. I know it leaked, I think yesterday that it leaked. Pedro Pascal said in an interview that Peyton Reed had done the final episode. And everybody on the internet was like, the guy that did Ant-Man and the Wasp? Ugh, I hate that guy. It's like, okay, shut the fuck up, all right?
Well, he also did the Spider episode from earlier this season.
Another good episode.
I didn't care for that all that much, so I was surprised when I saw his name at the end. I was like, dude, wow, this was great. But that's also why I like that I don't look at who the director is before I watch it. That's one thing I've grown to like about this show.
Yes.
But anyway, sorry.
I agree. I accidentally found out it was Peyton Reed because, again, I opened my Twitter yesterday and I didn't expect to see who the director of the last episode was. But, it is what it is. Sorry, Dean, you were going to say something.
I was going to say, firstly, I didn't expect Google to ruin the post-credit scene of this episode for me. So thanks, Google, for that notification on my phone. So here's what happens, right? I get the notification on my phone. I look at it. It says, Boba Fett series announced. I'm like, oh, cool. They would announce that today.
Wait, what?
They would announce that today.
Post-credit scene? There's a
right. So I see the first half of the headline, which says Boba Fett series announced. I'm like, oh, cool. They're obviously announcing that today because it's relevant, right? So I click on it, and then I read the full headline. Boba Fett series announced in post-credit scene of the finale. And I'm like, what?
So it's my turn. It's my turn to tell a story. We started with Wade telling a story from his childhood. We went to Dean telling a story from a year ago, and now I'm going to tell a story from today. The timeline, we're getting closer and closer to the present. Yesterday, I found out I had to work this morning. Okay, I had to be at work this morning, so I was not able to stay up to watch the episode at 3 a.m. When I found that out, I told my mother and my stepfather, hey, I'll wait to watch the episode to watch it with you because I'm not going to wake up early before work to watch it because I got to go in earlier than normal. So when I get home from work, we'll watch it together. I wake up this morning. I'm ready to go. I'm about to step out the door and I get an email. Never mind, it was a mistake. We don't need you in today.
Oh, hey.
So that's great. But I'd already said I would wait to watch the episode.
Oh,
I felt that. Yeah, I
So
saw that
now
coming.
I had to wait, right? And I was up. Like, I was up and I'd gotten ready and I was about to go. So I got back in bed and I tried to sleep again, but I wasn't able to. So I had to go through the rest of the day. Like, I subconsciously open Twitter. I'm terrible about it, right? Because I'll just be like, all right, I'm bored. I open my phone. What am I going to do? I hit the Twitter button. I swear to God, guys, we got to have a talk about spoilers for these shows. All right. It was not 12 hours after the episode had aired. It was like noon. People were at work and I was getting spoiled on the Mandalorian finale. Like,
oh, dude, I can imagine there's people's out on the West Coast who are watching it
exactly.
and they're spoiling it at 3 a.m. for us, live tweeting shit.
Yeah. It's
I'm
like
up at 8 a.m. and it's midnight LA time, and people are all over it already within so it's like 8:30, 8:45. People have somehow just like double sped through the episode. I feel your pain.
California, man. Fuck
California, they're the problem. We got to talk about vague posting. All right, because vague posting can work. Vague posting cannot work if people know you.
Right.
I saw somebody that was like posted a specific GIF, and I was like, okay, Luke is in the episode. Because I know you. I know you as a content creator. I know what your feelings are, and I know that you posted that GIF because Luke showed up in the episode. I saw somebody else who gave a negative reaction to the episode, which then double confirmed that Luke was in the episode because I knew that was something that would upset that person. Just be vague. Like, when I tweet about it, I'm like, hey, my tweet today was, episode was, I liked a lot of it. I saw it. I don't even know if I said I liked it. I said I watched it and I'm excited for the High Republic. And I think that gives you all the feelings that I need to know about the episode. Please, when we get into Bad Batch, Clone Wars wasn't a massive deal because Clone Wars, a lot of that we already knew from interviews. That was like stuff that had been left over and we knew was coming. Bad Batch, we have no idea what's coming with that. That's new stuff. Mando Season 3 we knew. The Book of Boba Fett will be new. Please, either Disney, do what HBO does and drop your episodes later. Because HBO, I never had a problem watching Game of Thrones. Because it went on the app the same time it aired. So 9 p.m., you can drop stuff at 9 p.m. Eastern on a streaming service. You don't need to drop it when the clock rolls over to the next day. You know?
Right.
Like, so either Disney
at 6 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, that or
Friday mornings. What's wrong with that?
I just don't understand. Primetime exists. Like, the reason we have primetime television is because that is the time when the most amount of people are able to watch, right? 8, 9 p.m. Eastern is the time where, at least in the United States, the most amount of people are able to watch television. It's a good system.
Streaming's kind of blown that open a little bit, though, right?
Yes, yeah.
Because
it's frustrating.
Talking about the vague tweets, though, I mean, where do you draw the line on that? Because I saw 2 pretty vague tweets. However, like you say, with context, and it wasn't even like 2 big Star Wars fans. You know, it's people that are kind of in this kind of community. But one of them was Frank Janish. I'll name him. It wasn't that bad. But it's not my Star Wars go-to person by any means. However, if I see the tweet, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, I don't remember verbatim, but it was something on the lines of, "Oh my God, they actually did it."
Yeah.
I know that's Luke. I know that's Luke.
Yeah.
And then another tweet, and then to double confirm it, was another tweet from somebody else. Don't remember who you are because you don't matter. You're not Luke.
Yeah.
And the tweet was, "Oh my God, I'm actually crying." So it's Luke. How vague can we really?
The thing about that also, though, is I saw stuff like that. I muted the word Luke Skywalker before the episode because I was like, he might show up. I want to have that word. It doesn't fucking matter if you go, "Oh my God, they did." Like, the perfect way Twitter works in the way that it does is people need to put mutes before an episode comes out, and then people need to make sure to use the words that people are muting. Like, so that the tweets actually get muted and not,
Okay,
it's
back on
difficult.
target here. I'm sorry. Let's get
sorry.
on target here, Shawn.
I'm a terrible host. I'm sorry. I was just talking about how the
No,
host.
you're not. But like, come on, dude. We're in the trench. We got the size of a womp rat hole. We got to stay on target here.
My point being that I got spoiled for this episode. I knew Luke was going to be in it, and
we all figured like last week, like 90%. We was all pretty. I mean, some people kind of toyed with the Kyles and the Plos or the whoever's. I don't remember the names, but we all basically knew that we was at least going to see a hand. At least,
yeah.
It was pretty likely. We got a hell of a lot more than a hand.
Yeah. I also got spoiled on the post-credit scene, but Dean, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you first, because I kind of know what Wade thought of Luke, because we've talked about it a little bit on Twitter. But I want to hear from you. What did you think of Luke Skywalker in the finale of Mandalorian?
For anyone who does follow me on Twitter, I've kept my activity to a zero. I have tweeted nothing about this. I mean, I don't want to get some of that hate. I don't want to get anything. I didn't want to give it away because I wanted to have this conversation. I mean, where to start, really? He's hooded for the majority of it, which told me something. It's like that they're either not going to show his face or it's going to be CGI. Because if you get Sebastian Stan, he's probably not signing up for covering his face with a hood. I don't know. That was the feeling I got. And to be honest, the hood itself was distracting because I was like, well, obviously they're just trying to cover him up. With that's what hoods are for, right? Yeah. But I didn't not like that he was in the episode. I just didn't like the episode.
Oh, whoa! Like the episode at all? Like the whole episode?
None of it?
I really did not like this episode.
Wow.
I would go as far to say that this was
not like this. Like Ellie, up here. He didn't say he didn't like just the Luke thing. Dude from England, the nutty dude from England, said that he didn't like the episode at all.
And Star Wars was filmed here. We know. We don't like it.
Kelly, dude, my cat got up and turned her back on you and is walking out the door right now.
Good. Sorry. Yeah, I thought the writing in this episode was lame and just really kind of predictable and cliche. I thought that the directing, there was none of Peyton's flair from the other episode that he did. This episode reeked of just the studios getting involved. Like, oh, Luke's in this episode, we better make sure everything is just as we want it. There was no flavor, no style in this. So much exposition, some of which was stuff that we've seen in or heard in previous episodes. So I didn't mind that they knew that I knew we was going to get Luke, so that wasn't the issue. Didn't like the CGI was not great. These dead eyes, and
the lips didn't really match.
Right.
I think let's not make any bones about it. Mark Hamill, he's probably never going to win an Oscar. I'd love it if he did. He might have it in him, but he's not that kind of actor. Let's face it. There's a reason that he's more prolific for voice acting, and it's not just typecasting. But his eyes are really expressive. You can see, and it just stood out like a sore thumb. Yeah. And the voice, the deadpan kind of emotionless expression and voice, I could have dealt with because he's a Jedi. But, the eyes. It was, and when you've got Sebastian Stan, you've got this gift from God of this actor who is the right age. He's in the family. He looks just like him. He's got those kind of qualities as an actor. You know, he's not too famous. He's got, you know, but famous enough, but he could still blend into the role. They had that gift from the wheels itself, and that just felt glaring to me. And maybe wouldn't have been much more expensive than the CGI paint job. Maybe, I don't know. I know what Sebastian Stan's price point is, you know, but
yeah.
Dude, it's Disney. I'm sure they could afford it.
They can afford it. And this is so frustrating because I know within a week we are going to get some fan edit that is better.
Yeah.
Because it happens every time with the deep fake.
That deep fake looks more real than the fucking CGI stuff.
You know, whether it's deep fake or CGI, I split the hairs. I know some people do because it's kind of like different techniques, and I don't know shit about the techniques. But I guarantee within a week, we're going to get a much better version of this uploaded. And it might make me like the episode more. But when I felt like it was just also by the numbers just to get to that point, and then we get to the point and it's a CGI point, kind of just really underwhelmed me. But getting a little bit ahead in some areas here. Are we going? Yeah. There it is.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he looks younger here than he did at the end of Return of the Jedi, which was 5 years before this point.
His hair didn't move one bit.
You know what it looks like? It looks like they got rid of this. Like, you know how he got in a car accident, right?
Right.
And that's why the Wampa messes up his face in Empire.
Yeah.
I can't see that in his face.
I can't either.
It doesn't look messed
up. Too perfect.
Yeah.
Too perfect.
I mean, it also looks like it was painted on.
Yeah,
like, it looks like
that's clearly not his neck. That's his guy's neck. That is some bodybuilder neck with a tiny little Mark Hamill head glued on top of it.
I'm gonna go as far to say, not only did I not like the way that Luke looked, I thought he looked pretty bad. I thought that Tarkin looked so much better in Rogue One, and even that wasn't perfect.
Right.
You know what it felt like? It felt like if we had gotten Leia from the end of Rogue One, but for like an extended period of time. Because Leia at the end of Rogue One doesn't look great, but she's only on screen for like 3 seconds and then she's gone. You know?
I would say right around a bit. It's worked around because when you get the shots of just his face, he's just not moving his head. Any shot where he's moving his body, he's moving his face, and obviously it's covered, and it just every time they cut to his face, there's one shot where it's literally just like this. It's so obvious that they're just like trying to cut corners on showing, and you're fucking Disney. We've seen how many subscribers you got. We know you can afford this, and we know that people getting paid nothing can do a better job. And I'm sorry, that's pretty lame source to me.
Well, and also though, I mean, I don't know. They can use Luke whenever they want. In the future, if they want to use Luke in more stuff, they can do that, whatever. But I'm saying as far as like, say they want to use Luke for something in the future that's more than just one scene like this, you've painted yourself in a corner because now you're going to have like a whole like episode or something of a shitty CGI Luke, or you're going to have Sebastian Stan or a different actor in there, and it's not going to look the same. Yet, like you said, Dean, dude, they had this gift that they've had on their payroll for years and years in Sebastian, and they freaking blew it, man.
And the internet was on board with it. It was like that literally the gods and the fans are both handing you this platter. Like, there's this beautiful man's face. Just we will buy that. We'll all, for the majority, be on board with that. And maybe it's because, opposite to what you're saying, Jay, they didn't want to pigeonhole themselves into that, because then if they get down the line and they wanted to use Luke in something for a really small cameo, now they've got to pay Sebastian Stan. But again, this is fucking Disney, and I'm not going to be over here bleeding my heart for all the money that you don't have.
Yeah.
The talent that you don't have. behind and on the, on camera, whichever way. You could have done the CGI and it could have looked fine. But
just
in the
cast
story,
somebody. Like, just cast somebody, or don't fucking use the character. I'm sorry.
Right.
We talked about Cal Kestis.
Wishy-washy. They didn't want to commit to anything because they've seen what the fans can get like with, Alden Ehrenreich and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or just with anything. And they just...
well, how much of it do you think has to do with maybe Hamill being like, I don't want anyone else to play him? If you want to use it, actually, CGI, and I'll do the voice.
I looked for that because I thought, because I was actually watching for the credit, because I was thinking that was a potentially game-changing moment, because we don't know how they did it yet behind the scenes, and we're assuming that Hamill played some part into this.
He is credited in the characters.
So
is it just because of his likeness, though?
I think his
what
voice.
I'm getting at.
At first, I thought it was taken. His voice was taken from past lines from movies, but then, like, he was saying things that I've not heard from other movies.
Yeah, this looks like it could have been done with no input from Mark whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't think he was involved.
And because he said he doesn't want to be involved, and he doesn't need to be. But I think they credited him because if they didn't, that would have led to a slippery slope of companies like, okay, we've got Bruce Willis's face here, we've got Denzel Washington's face here. We can just start peppering that shit in.
Yeah.
And so it just felt like they were just doing the bare minimum to appease every angle. And it works for the story. He should be in the episode. He should be. If it was one of these other Jedis that showed up, I would be like, no.
Perfect sense
Sorry, it would have been cool for like the cross-medium stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there is nobody else that would have felt that presence, that would have been worthy, sort of in and out of universe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be Ezra. Ahsoka's looking for Ezra still.
Yes. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that.
She obviously doesn't know that Luke's out there.
I want to talk about that because, first of all, I want to say when it comes to how they actually did it, I think we're going to find out next week when the special comes out. The documentary special is going to air on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's
cool. It's not going to be a series this time. It's just one thing. It's it's not, which sucks. I really wish they'd done a whole other 8-episode series again.
Mark Hamill for the whole thing.
But they've said they're going to have their Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian Season 2. It's going to premiere next Friday. But here's the thing. I think that could have been anybody. Because it doesn't fucking matter that it was Luke. At the end of the day, the character wasn't used. He shows up. Nobody knows who he is, right? Cara Dune's like, who's that guy? Like, the only people who know who that is the audience.
Right.
That is, to me, the cheapest form of fan service. But no, let me get through what I'm going to say, right? Nobody knows who he is. Nobody talks to him about anything meaningful. Nobody is like, hey, what are your credentials, by the way, for taking my kid? They're just like, here, kid, go with him. Like, Cal Kestis could have been there, and it would not have been any better. It would not have been any worse. It would have been exactly the same. We didn't see him do anything new. He did what we saw Vader do in Rogue One, and what we saw Maul do at the end of the Clone Wars. It was a cool hallway scene. We've seen 2 ones already. Like, it's nothing about Luke being there made it any different than if it was any other Jedi in the story, except for the fans' reactions. Nothing about it being Luke affected the actual story of it.
No, hold on. I'm sorry, Dean. I'm about to steamroll your ass to the ground here. I'm sorry. You are correct about it. Could have been any Jedi, and it wouldn't have taken away from the story. That is correct. But I'm not saying, and I'm not sure if you're saying that this or not. But like, as far as the story goes, and he was the most logical person to show up.
I guess. But why? I mean, what makes it any different?
There? We don't know of any. We don't know where the shameless guy is from Order 60. We don't know where he is. We don't know Ahsoka's out there. She doesn't even know of any other Jedi that are out there. The only one she knows of is Ezra, and she doesn't know where he is. So I mean, it's not like we have a huge, like a huge poll to take from. Plus, on top of that, we know at this point in time, in this time frame, Luke is out looking for Jedi artifacts. So I mean, he's searching for things. So obviously, when whatever it is,
he's a person.
He's gonna pick up on it. It makes perfect sense. Although you are correct, it could have been any Jedi.
That's my point.
It just makes perfect sense that it was Luke.
I have a counter argument to this, and it kind of ties into like
you don't even like the episode.
I'm out. That's it. So I do have a counterpoint to this, and it kind of ties back into the beginning of the episode with the un-Luke related stuff. If we're quite ready to get back there yet, but here's the thing, because Luke didn't just go to the rock where the signal was sent up into the sky. He went to the ship where he is. He didn't follow Slave One. It doesn't seem to be the case. So he just knew where to go, which means that
so much better. God, it would have been so cool. Can you imagine how much better it would have been if Boba Fett was with them? And if we'd actually like done something with Luke? Can you imagine Luke walks through that door and he stares down Boba Fett and Boba Fett stares down him, and we had literally any amount of personality to this Luke. Luke has no personality in this appearance. It doesn't mean anything for him to be there.
It's because it's CGI, man. If they would have
I think even if it would have required more
or another actor that would have been, an actor would have given that feeling and emotion.
But that wouldn't have changed the story. It's just somebody else playing the character. Like there still would have been no reason. Like being another Jedi wouldn't have made it better. My point is just that it wouldn't have made it worse. It would have been exactly the same thing. The only reason that it's Luke is because they knew that fans were going to freak out. And let me tell you, I freaked the fuck out.
That's not the only reason, though. I will, like I said, dude,
what other reason?
Because it makes sense in the storyline. In this timeline, he is specifically searching for Jedi artifacts. It's not like we don't know what he's doing, or he's like off with Leia living a nice sweet life, kicking it on a beach. We know that he is specifically looking for Jedi artifacts, dude.
You can say whatever you want about any Jedi that shows up. Like it doesn't. Him being there does not.
About Luke, we don't even know that any other Jedi exists. That's the point.
But you could argue that they were trying to find each other. So
does the audience know that Luke is looking for artifacts? Oh, I hope you played Battlefront 2's campaign.
Why is that our fault? Those of us who know that. Why is that our fault that people don't know that?
Is that
I'm not saying like they're stupid or like
I know.
Them, but like there's a lot of shit I don't know. I've talked to you about that, Shawn. I don't know jack about comic books, the books, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot I don't know. But I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, well, that makes no sense and that's stupid when something happens because I don't know that it happened or it's a callback to something else. That will make me more interested in finding out what that's a callback to.
I'm not saying it makes no sense. I'm just saying that in my opinion, it makes as much sense as anybody else would have. Because he's looking for artifacts, but like that is the most bare minimum of anything. You could literally bring any other character and be like, yeah, I've been laying low and I decided now is my chance to like it's just such a non thing. It's such a generic, like, throwaway response as to why. It just, I wish they'd done something.
To put a bit of a pin in this, I do think that in-universe, Luke made more sense than every other Jedi. More sense. I'm not saying that the others made no sense. I actually think Luke made more sense. However, there's one thing that Luke has that none of these other characters have, and that is half of the fan base want him to be redeemed in their eyes. And
I think it's a problem.
Well, I don't think it's a problem. I think you can do both and it could be fine. To me, it felt like that appeasing those Last Jedi haters was more important than the in-universe reasons for him being there. It felt like...
But that's not like...
frustrating.
Is that good storytelling? to bring in Luke to be like, I know that you guys really.
It's not bad storytelling because it makes sense. He's out looking for things that have to do with the Force, the light side, the Jedi.
I just think that from
looking for those things.
I don't go back
know
to
he's
the
looking
studio
for a baby Gover. I'm sorry, Dean. I love you, Shawn. Those who are listening, there's no will here, but this is the most heated Shawn and I have ever on any discussion, including The Last Jedi. Don't even get started.
I'm not saying that like it's dumb that he's there. I'm saying that to me, that could have been any character, and also I think that's a problem. That it's Luke, sure, but is it? It's a dude who shows up. Like the only reason that he's Luke is because he looks like him. Like, and sure, another actor maybe could have acted more like Luke, but still, like he wouldn't have mattered to the story really. There was no.
So you would rather it been any other Jedi other than Luke just because you didn't want the fan service?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with it being Luke. It's
then what the fuck have we been arguing about for 10 minutes? Damn it!
Very frustrating as well for me is because what the Mandalorian has proved all up until now is that they've managed to do the fan service in a way that is cohesive to the story, that is satisfying for both ends. And in this instance, it just felt like the fan service superseded the story.
If they had used Luke in a good way, I think I would, because I don't think this was a good use of Luke. I think it only exists to appease people, and there was no story thing happening.
You are right, but it still makes sense.
Yeah, sure. It makes sense that it's there. My argument isn't that it doesn't make sense. It's that it could have been literally anybody.
I see. Okay, so then
it could have made more sense.
They could have made it make more sense. Is my point.
But so say some other Jedi shows up, and then and not just us who know about Star, but the average fan. They're going to be even more lost because they're going to be like, well, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, I think the problem extends not only to the fact that, the fact that Luke doesn't really have a story. Like, yes, he's looking for artifacts, but like the way that it plays into the episode has no real relevance. I think the bigger issue is that a Jedi showed up and made the entire episode about them.
But
this
also,
is the first episode of Luke Skywalker show. That is a completely different situation. This is the finale to a Mandalorian show, and
it completely steals it.
Not tied in to the other characters. The other characters. This is the last scene of the finale episode of this season, and literally all of our main characters are in one room, just looking at the screens like this, just following this other character. Who, if it wasn't Luke, we would all be complaining about, which I think is kind of Shawn's point.
If it was Cal Kestis, I would be.
That would have been really cool, but then again, you were saying the fans don't understand. They don't know that Luke's looking for. Well, the fans. Fans aren't going to know who the hell that dude is.
Yeah, I thought it was a mistake.
But also, we found out in the sequel trilogy that he had formed a new Jedi Academy. He had that also makes sense.
Let's get into that.
Those students somehow.
Holy fuck! I really hope Gogurt gets away from him. The entire time I was watching that episode, I was like, no, take Gogurt away from that man. That is not a good place for him to go. If Gogurt doesn't get away from Luke, he dies.
Sending Gogurt with Luke was like sending him off with Luke was like watching Rogue One, where Bail Organa's like, I'm just going to go back to Alderaan.
Yes, exactly. I was watching the episode, and I'm like, they're sending him to his execution. Like, I thought it was.
Know that for sure.
That's true, which is why I'm not super upset about that right now, because I don't know how Mandalorian season 3 is going to play out.
Say I'll see you again. I promise.
Yes.
So, like it or hate it, the Mandalorian show is just as much about Grogu as it is about the Mandalorian. Which some people like that, some people don't. So then, at that point, is it really a good idea to have Grogu's story finish somewhere else that we don't even see? I mean, we don't know.
I hope he's back next season.
We will see him again. I don't know.
There's no way. There's no way he doesn't come. Then what? Does Luke just come back and like, no, can't deal with that kid. Have him back.
Oh, I don't think we ever see Luke again. I don't.
How does that? That doesn't track.
I think we'll find out eventually. If Grogu doesn't come back, it will be bad. I think that will his ending.
I was upset that they rescued him, and honestly, I wanted him to give into the dark side and turn dark. And I was really, dude. I'm sick of all the hey, we got a happy ending. I'm sick of that shit, dude. Life is not always happy.
Send the kid off to get killed by Kylo Ren. That's a better ending.
Okay, but also, this is okay. I'm getting really heated about this. I'm sorry, but it's a take I've seen all. Kylo Ren would not have killed this kid. Okay, first of all, Kylo Ren killed one person by accident and a second person on purpose. Canonically, in the comic book that covers the entire event of Ben Solo's fall to the dark side, it's very unclear about who blows up the temple, but my bet is on Snoke/Palpatine. The temple blows up while Ben is far away, and he's like, no, fuck, that's not what I wanted. What's happening? And Snoke is like, oh, well, fuck, you gotta go now. There's nothing left here for you. And then at one point, there are 3 Jedi that are going after Ben. One of them gets killed on accident. The other one is killed by one of the Knights of Ren. And the third one, Ben kills, and that's his fall to the dark side. So, one accidental murder, a second one on purpose. He will have not killed Grogu. If Grogu dies, it will have been Snoke or Palpatine blowing up the temple. I'm sorry, but that's something that I've seen a lot of people like, oh, he's going off to get murdered by Kylo Ren. It's like, I know you don't want to read the comic books, but we know what happened.
I wish that manipulated into blowing up the temple.
That'd have been great. Who knows? Okay, we're gonna go to commercial. We're gonna talk about the other parts of the episode that are not Luke Skywalker.
We need to come right back in at the beginning, guys, because I've got so many things that run
I have so many
back
thoughts.
through this.
I have so many thoughts, but we will be right back in a moment.
Hi, everyone. This is Sarah, host of Go Get That Rose podcast, a podcast that is dedicated to talking about all things Bachelor Nation. Join Jay Wade, a man in his 40s who is recently new to all things Bachelor Nation, and myself, someone who has been watching passionately for the past 3 years, as we review, share our thoughts on each episode of whatever show is currently on TV, whether that is Bachelor, Bachelorette, or Bachelor in Paradise. We might not even know everyone's name, but we have fun nonetheless. You can find us on Merc with a Movie blog feed wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, Jay Wade here to tell you about SEN Afterlive, our SEN Live After Show, where we talk about, well, whatever Christian, Brett, and the rest of the crew talk about and the insanity that ensues. So join us each week here on Merc with the Movie blog feed on your podcasting platforms, as well as YouTube now on the SEN Afterlive channel. Talk to you then.
We are back, Dean. Perfect timing. Holy shit. That was perfect, dude. Oh man. I
was about to say evidently Dean left with R2 and Baby Goger and Luke too.
Yeah. So
we up on my blue milk.
Oh, perfect. Listen to all those shows. They're all great. I think there's only 2 in there now. But all right. We got heated. We talked about Luke. We talked about Grogu's ending for this season. We're going to move away from those things. I'm sure we'll be talking about it privately amongst ourselves for years to come. But I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not completely on Team Dean here. I loved this episode up until Luke showed up. I know, Wade, yeah. But I loved so much of this episode.
Yes.
Immediately right off the bat, one of the things I want to bring up, the Imperial pilots, when they're chasing down the doctor. Wish he had a little bit more to do with what was going on, but I think we're going to get more of that in the future. They did capture Moff Gus, so presumably we're not done with those characters. But there is something that is in Star Wars Lost Stars. It is a book. It is my favorite Star Wars book. I encourage everybody to read it. It is the original trilogy told from the point of view of Imperial officers. It is fantastic. It is a great, great, great book. And they really talk
Claudia
about
Gray, right?
Claudia Gray. Yes, Claudia Gray, Charles Soule. Those are my two favorite Star Wars authors. And a lot of what they talk about is like what it's like seeing the things that the Empire does from their point of view. And it's also something that they bring up in this episode. Finally, like Luke Skywalker is a terrorist. I'm sorry. Like, he does blow up the Death Star, which has millions of people on it that had nothing to do with the destruction of Alderaan. Like,
yeah. There was something odd to me in that dialogue, though, because the way that dialogue was written and said, it came off to me like the guy was saying, "You guys are terrorists. You blew up the Death Star, so in return, we blew up Alderaan."
So
that's exactly how it came off, which was very odd.
Yes, it came off differently to me because I've read Lost Stars and I've seen the way that like the Imperials framed it. The Imperials said that the reason that they blew up Alderaan was because the rebellion was getting more and more bold with like the stuff on Scarif, with the events of Rogue One and everything. They blew it up, and their explanation was, we hit them here, we hit them now hard, they're not going to keep coming for us, which is bullshit. But when you've been indoctrinated from a young age and raised in the Imperial, you know, the Imperial service, you can understand how it's like, yeah, it's one massive, it's nuking Japan at the end of World War II, right? Because, you know, George Lucas has said many times that the Empire is the United States. That is kind of the parallel. It is blowing up Alderaan is the equivalent of us nuking Japan at the end of World War II in order to stop it. Now, obviously, that's not how it worked.
Right.
But that is the Imperial point of view of the event, and I'm really glad that they've actually talked about it, finally, in Star Wars live action.
So, opening scene, I have two major questions.
Okay.
Firstly, we're straight up, we find the scientist and the two guards on the ship.
Yes.
We didn't, at the end of the last episode, correct me if I'm wrong, we got the coordinates for Moff's ship, not the scientist ship.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
So that's pretty weird, which is what I was referring to earlier when I said about how Luke, you know, knew to find Moff. He must have just sensed the kid, so only Luke probably could have made that connection. Anyway, so we find the scientist. We've got no reasoning as to why that, which is fine. You know, you've got enough you got Boba Fett and stuff on board. We can find people. That's fine. But then when you've got the two, the officers or pilots or whatever they are, one of them is in on it and the other one isn't.
If you're like, fuck this, dude, I want to live.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not with him.
If you're transporting, this guy's like, presumably, this is like the head cloning scientist dude who's eventually going to help with Palpatine, with Snoke and all of that stuff. I mean, you know, this dude's pretty high up, and you've got one dude who's there who's to protect the scientist at all odds, and the other dude is just like a lowly pilot who knows nothing. That just seemed really weird to me, and I was a little bit confused when like one guy kind of just turned on the other one. I really liked they did it in the other episode on with the Bo-Katan episode, and it really worked. It was very clear there where like, you know, the inner workings of like the guys on the ship, and you know, like the kind of like micro politics of that moment. And in this one, I was kind of like, he just shot it just seemed a little bit out of left field for me.
Well, I would guess because he's like he was obviously hardcore Imperial. Yeah. So in my mind, he's standing there and he's like, "What? You're a traitor!" Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, that's how I took it. Like he was like, "Dude, you're a traitor," and fucking just shot him.
And I think the other dude acted like a normal human being would in that situation, where he's like, I'm not fucking with these guys. Yeah, I'm not. That dude's crazy. I want to live, you know?
And then during all of this, like, it kind of felt like some of the dialogue going on was setting up Cara Dune's possible series or her storyline. It's just like, is now really the time to drop
I thought we were going to get more with that. I thought, like, at the end of the episode, we were going to see them go their separate ways, and she's like, I got to take this guy back to the New Republic or something.
Yeah, you know? If they would have come full circle on that, that would have been fine. But I was just like, really? We're on the final mission to save the kid. Everyone is on board to save the kid. But let's just stop and have a little bit of a back and forth to kind of do some exposition / setup for the next, or possibly, because we don't even know how Kara, but it seems to be more and more that that's the case, because it seemed like that's what that stuff with Kara's backstory and getting called the terrorist and stuff, it kind of seemed like that was the purpose of that, right? To set up.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not. If not, it's
I
just a cool backstory, but it's.
I just wish it had gotten payoff.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I feel like
blasting him in the face wasn't payoff enough for you.
No, I mean, like,
payback.
It was
not
payoff. I wish that we had gotten. It felt like the beginning of setup for.
I see.
Of Kara's show. I wish we'd gotten the. Although it sounds to me that Rangers of the New Republic is going to come after Mandalorian season 3, so maybe the setup will actually be in Mando season 3.
That makes sense. But even then, setting up things isn't the best tactic, as we've learned.
Yeah.
Small thing. It doesn't usurp the episode.
I've never been happier to be wrong in my life, because I was like, Bo-Katan's not showing up. Wade, you were right. I'm pretty sure you said. I think I was
Katie Sackhoff.
I think I was saying no, we're gonna see her later. But you were right. Holy fuck! I want a show. Oh, I'm sorry. Fuck Rangers of the New Republic. Like, cool, whatever. I'd rather have a show. Fennec Shan, Bo-Katan, Koska Reeves. Those three. Give me that show. They were kicking ass during that attack when they attacked the fucking and Cara Dune. Sure, make that Rangers of the New Republic. Throw in those 4 characters. Obviously, Fennec Shan won't be, but I'm so excited to see her in Book of Boba Fett because holy fuck, the cavalry is here and she is kicking ass. She was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she kicked a lot of ass on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm the other one that watched it.
Awesome. Thank you, Dean. The 2 people in the world. So I thought the action in this episode was great. I thought bringing in Bo-Katan and Koska Reeves, I loved. Oh my God. I was like on the edge of my seat when Bo-Katan and Boba Fett met. And she's like, I've heard thousands of people like you. Yeah. Don't you mean your donor? Like, holy shit. It was so, because like Bo-Katan would fucking hate the clones.
Yeah, because they turned and
Yeah. Like she was friends with Ahsoka and they fucking turned on Ahsoka. Like, and they turned on them as well. Like, holy fuck. That was the kind of shit that I'm talking about. Like, if you're going to bring in these old characters, do something with them. And I think they did with those 2. I really want to see them interact more.
That they're an older character, brings some weight to the scene.
Yeah.
And I love that they're like really talking, like Boba Fett really got some shit in this scene. They really kind of go hard in, but I don't think they just think he's just another clone.
Yeah.
Presumably. Because obviously they don't see his face. If they would have seen that
they must think he's old as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't get that obviously if she's just like, oh, you're just another donor or whatever. He's the legitimate son or as close to as you can get.
Yeah, he's still a clone, but he's not got that enhanced growth thing. Yeah,
he's the most legit version of that character that there is in the galaxy, essentially. But they're just talking trash to him like he's just a dime a dozen factory produced, can of beans or whatever. Which I thought was, and then Sasha Banks,
he got slapped around too.
Yeah,
a little bit too much. Like, what is Sasha Banks? Like a super Mandalorian? Like the fire just bounced off of her. She's got no Beskar and everything's just like grappling hook doesn't work. The flamethrower doesn't work. Like, what made her so fucking special?
I think they were showing us that that's season 3. Season 3 is Mando, Bo-Katan, and Koska Reeves. I think she came back because like she came back and the other dude didn't. There were 3 of them. Remember in their episode, that guy didn't come back. Yeah, so I think both. I don't think so. He just doesn't show up. So I think the show is going to pivot away from Grogu for a bit. I hope he comes back, but I think we're going to go away from him for a bit, and it's going to be more about the Mandalorians. Not just, but it's going to be about the Darksaber. It's going to be about Mandalore, Bo-Katan, Koska Reeves, all of them. I think is where this show is headed.
We need to see Sabine in this.
I think.
I mean, more likely in the Ahsoka show,
yes,
obviously. Yeah. But I mean, I would love to see Sabine with Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian. Yes.
I think characters are going to start bouncing back and forth once all these shows are running. we'll probably see Sabine in the Ahsoka show first, but I think once that happens, it will then open the doors for everyone to like do more of that cross pollination.
And don't forget, these shows are all going to culminate in something, in an event. So, like, even if we don't see Sabine in The Mandalorian ever, she might just be in the Ahsoka show. I would be surprised if we didn't see her interact with Bo-Katan and The Mandalorian in the crossover, you know? Right. Or Bo-Katan might show up in an episode of Ahsoka, you know? Like,
Mando could show up in that.
Either of them. I'm really,
now, you know, he's freewheeling.
Yeah.
Gloves are off.
I thought the Dark Troopers were really cool. One of the
Iron Man.
That's kind of not an issue,
it's
but
not
something
really for me either. I mean, the first scene when we first saw them, when they flew out of the ship to the four of them to go get Grogu, that was a little like, oh, Iron Man.
That was underwhelming. Like all that build up and just four of them land, one of them picks him up, and then they like you didn't need four for that for a start. And then they kind of land and take off. Like they've basically done the job of a humanoid grappling hook. You know, like they just grabbed him, yoink, like the claw from Toy Story. And I'm not a fan of them in this episode either, particularly.
I think they're too much like Iron Man to me. I think it's like, I feel like, I know it's Jon Favreau, but like even the shots of them look almost exactly like shots of Iron Man. One thing that I fucking loved about him, right, is when they're pounding fucking Din Djarin's head, but it bends the metal behind him.
And not his helmet.
That was cool as fuck.
But see, I was sitting there thinking by the way, robots, and it was just, then that made it seem cheesy to me. And then when they started hitting the doors too, that's all I could think of was that.
It was silly.
Why are they hitting the doors? If you've got Dark Troopers, why do they not have like security clearance so they can just open the fucking doors?
You know why they were hitting the doors? To buy time for Luke to show up.
Yeah.
I really
goes back into bad use of anyway.
Yeah. I really wish that like I thought they were cool. I think they're too much like Iron Man. The entire time he was punching him in the face, all I could think of was the Red Viper learned. He put on a helmet.
And they're destroyed. They're destroyed now.
Yeah, there's nobody inside. I did kind of find that interesting. The whole like the final weakness was the person inside the suit. I thought that was an interesting line of dialogue.
See, that would have been more interesting to me because when I heard that line, it immediately made me think of RoboCop 2, where they're trying to find somebody to replicate the success of RoboCop, but they keep trying to put other people in there, and it's just not working because the human element just doesn't like being contained. So basically, these guys are just droids. I would have liked the other angle of more, you know, the fusion of human android, like the cyborg. That would have been. I mean, it would have been a lot. It would have been maybe too much to explain. But you know, that could have been something they could have just referenced. Oh, we've mixed man and machine, and you know, just now they're robots. And not only are they just robots, there's those stakes now, and you know, they weren't, as we see with the door punching and stuff. They're not making necessarily the most autonomous of decisions, and it definitely cheapened the action. And again, the only reason that they're not people or alive is because we want Luke to be able to come in and cut them up without people bitching and complaining that Luke isn't following the Jedi code because he's just murdering people. So
can I say
that they were robots, but they are cannon fodder.
Can I say though, seeing the green lightsaber?
That was awesome. And the hand, the glove, the black glove, and the green saber.
I'm not a Dark Trooper. The
black suit. The black suit. I've got video because I was watching it with my mom and my stepdad.
Yeah, the classic belt on.
Yeah. My mom got a video of me. I didn't realize she was recording me, but when like it showed him for the first time, I fucking jumped out of my seat and just started jumping in the air like it's Luke, because Return of the Jedi is my favorite original trilogy film.
Very exciting. It was just poorly executed.
Yeah. In the moment, I felt something. So please don't come after me.
I knew it was him as soon as you saw that single X-Wing. It was like, dude, it's Luke.
No,
I
wait,
figured it was him. I was wondering.
The pilots have showed up to save everyone.
I figured it was him. I wasn't sure if they were going to try to like pull something on us, but as soon as I was fucking out of my seat, and yeah,
he comes in and Dave Filoni gets out of the
that would have.
And he's immediately shot down by a dark trooper.
No, you know what would have been the best? Dave Filoni climbs out. He fucking throws off his suit jacket thing, and he's got a fucking lightsaber at his side.
Oh my god!
I would have lost my shit, dude. I would have been fine with it.
Does he reach back into his cockpit and put on his cowboy hat before he goes?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes, I would have been happy with that. I'm glad Moff Gus isn't dead. I thought the duel with him and Mando was good.
Yeah.
I think it was like insane, but I thought Giancarlo Esposito was very good in it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see more.
He hammy as the episode went on. Like he's literally definitely just dumping everything by the end of it.
I kind of like his kind of. He's a little eccentric.
Arrogant.
He's arrogant.
Yeah, he's like the classic Bond villain, dude, who will like stand there and be like who's like basically has the mentality like, I've got you now and you're not getting away, so I'm going to tell you everything in the entire plan in detail. And I was sitting there going, dude, when he got in there to Baby Gogert's cell, I'm like, dude, stop talking, dude. I'm getting.
I like that he enjoys himself, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my train of thought now. He So he only wanted the blood. After all of that, he only needed a blood sample. He went through all of this. He knew that he was going to get the Mandalorians on his shit after the end of the first season. He goaded him even further. All the tracking devices, all of this stuff. He could have just taken the blood sample, just dropped the kid back off at his doorstep and be like, done, I'm good.
No,
I think that was bullshit.
This is for Palpatine, dude. There's no way they're letting a Force sensitive go.
You know what, Wade?
Do you finally admit it?
I'm on your
train. To kill him afterwards when everything was going south.
Hold on, Dean. This is a monumental moment.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not happy about it.
But you finally understand that I'm right about this, and I
am on the same train of thought as you are now. I think you're right. I think that
when he started talking, and I'll never bring it up again.
No, it's fine.
You're right, Wade. Just one more time, and I'll never.
You're right, Wade. When he started talking about like this is the key to new order in the galaxy, I was like, oh yeah, he's talking about bringing back Palpatine, and I don't like it. What's the thing from Solo? I don't like it. I don't agree with it, but I accept it. You know, when he's cutting down Lando's deal.
I called it from the second or third episode of season 1 of Mando, dude. I called it then. I love it.
And you were right. I'm on the same train as you.
Yes.
Sadly.
But they could have just taken that blood sample when they had him in the first season.
I think they need more.
They need more than that. Yeah.
I think he's full of shit. He's lying. He was lying so that he would get behind Mando and take
if he was not full of shit in that moment, then he would have just let him take the baby and kept the Darksaber, took it off so that they could do what they needed to do, and just
it didn't take much for him to try and kill the kid when he realized that everything was kind of slipping away from him. He took, and Mando jumps in front of. So Gideon was just like, I'm going to take one last shot and just take this fucker out and ruin their plans.
Yeah,
Palpatine's orders, man.
Didn't need him alive that much.
They can't let a Force sensitive be out there against Palpatine.
So he'd rather him be dead than the Empire not have him. I guess, yeah. I guess if I can't have him, nobody can.
Yeah.
Because remember, originally they wanted him dead.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mandalorians, his said that to bring him in alive or whatever, but they were
trying to kill him,
like bring him in dead, and then they wanted to kill him. That they wanted to kill him when they took him to that Imperial Lord or whatever.
Yeah.
So
the Imperial Emporium.
Imperial Emporium.
Serious business.
So I want to talk about the Darksaber because this was something that Wade brought up. There is a bit of an inconsistency, it seems, because Bo-Katan will not take the Darksaber at the end of the episode. She says that she needs to earn it, but in Rebels, Sabine does give Bo-Katan the Darksaber.
And she said, in her exact words, Bo-Katan, I'm sorry, but I just watched this clip.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan's exact words when Sabine gives her the Darksaber are, I accept it for Mandalore.
Yes. So my thought process is, didn't go well. I think in her mind, that's part of the reason why it didn't go well, is because she didn't truly claim the Darksaber. Yeah, it was just given to her, and that's why she wasn't able to bring the Mandalorians back and reclaim Mandalore. Part of the reason was because she wasn't strong enough. She had just been given the Darksaber. So I think that's why this time she's like, no, I've been down this road before. I'm going to take it this time.
Warrior mentality. That actually fills in a lot of context for me, because I was watching that part and I'm like, really? You give him Mando shit because he doesn't want to take off his helmet because that's some weird religious thing that doesn't get anybody anywhere. And then you're going to sacrifice your entire people, your entire planet because, oh no, I don't really deserve. Like, you basically earned that. You helped him get that.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to get to that point in your mind of like, if that's my mentality, I've earned this. She could have made that adjustment and in her head to kind of just for the betterment of the. So the fact that she didn't, I was like, really? You give this guy shit for being a zealot, and now you've got your own fucked up belief that he's gonna get in the way. So that contextualizes it a lot.
Like, I don't think she's even gonna try. I think it will turn out where the our Mandalorian is like. He will end up being the one.
He's so quick to say to Gideon, "You can have it. I just want the kid."
Yeah.
He sold out all of them motherfuckers. He was prepared to get them all down.
I think it's going to be a thing where that's why he's the best choice, because he doesn't want it. I think it's kind of like if you're talking about Game of Thrones, why I thought Jon Snow was the best choice for the throne was because he didn't want it.
Right.
I think it's going to be Bo-Katan. I really wish it had been Bo-Katan. I fucking think she deserves it. I mean, she's been through so much. I was really upset, but I do think it's going to be a thing where she's going to be like, all right, I'm going to back you for the betterment of our people. And she's going to abdicate the position to Din Djarin, and he's going to end up being Mandalore.
Right. I kind of feel like she's going to have to die.
I think they're going to fight about it first, but I think that, they're going to end up being on the same side. I think she's going to try to take it from him.
I think there's a lot of fans that probably have followed Clone Wars. It's not me. I think a lot of people are probably very personally attached to that story thread, and they're not going to accept that she just all of a sudden just relinquishes that right to somebody else. I think she's probably going to die. And we didn't get any...
That's me!
We didn't get any deaths. I thought for sure Sasha Banks was going to die. I was like, oh, she's just going to be the token kill.
Yeah.
But her acting was not good. Really did not.
No, but her action is good. I like her action.
Right.
It's like Cara Dune.
She's just fireproof. It's fine.
But I will say when it comes to Bo-Katan, I think what's going to happen is she's going to try to take it from Mando. It's not going to work. And then she's going to abdicate to him. But I do think that she is going to try to take it from him. I don't think she's just going to be like, all right, cool, you're the leader now.
When Gideon's given the little speech of, you can't take it because it has to be won in battle, he's holding it out. All she had to do was literally just be like, psych, there you go,
but
now
it wasn't,
I have it.
But that's not like
he could have just punched him in the face and taken it. He could have just...
That's not the same
thing,
though.
They're too proud, man. They're a warrior.
Yeah, I know.
That's not a fight,
Planet. For the people. Do it for the people, Bo-Katan.
She tried to do it that way once. She tried to circumvent the rules once, and it didn't work.
Now,
real good.
There was a moment that happened, a very important moment. It was a sweet moment, but it was also very important, and I think it also will tie into the Bo-Katan thing I'm pulling.
Yeah, I was just about to talk. Yep.
This was adorable.
I was crying.
Absolutely adorable. I hate that I love Baby Yoda, stupid, cute little bastard. Anyway, but I think him taking his helmet off in that moment, I think that is also going to be a little bit of where Boca starts to see a turn in him from that Dark Watch kind of and I think he's going to start to be more interested in the Mandalorian way and in the real Mandalorian story and history and stuff like that. And I think that's like she will end up seeing, you know, maybe I am worthy, maybe it is my role to take up, but he is very worthy as well. And I think that moment wasn't only to be shared between Baby Gogurt and the Mandalorian, but I think that implanted some thoughts in Bo-Katan's head, like,
I think
okay, he's starting to come around.
You've absolutely solidified that for me, because one of my main concerns is, like, basically the whole character arc of the Mandalorian is done via proxy of Grogu, and it's like when you take that away, and so what does he do? Just go back to being just a mission by mission self-centered bounty
I don't think
hunter?
so.
But what you're saying is that now he's learned to care about one other person or one other being, and now the next step is now he's got to care about this whole culture.
Yes.
So that is you saying that, Jay, is just like really giving me hope for where we're going to go
And
in the next season.
with that, I want to start to talk about the future. Unless you guys have anything else about this episode specifically that you really want to bring up. The first thing, we got a post-credit sequence,
There's an Imperial officer that looks like Vince Vaughn, but other than that, go for it.
Yeah. There's a post-credit sequence. I'm a little iffy on post-credit sequences in Star Wars, but it is what it is. I'm fine with it. We got the confirmation, and this is something I'm really happy about, by the way. They did not reveal this last Thursday. When they did their big investor meeting, they gave all of these things. They did not reveal that we are getting the Book of Boba Fett, December 2021. It is the next live-action Star Wars show coming.
Is it a show or is it a movie? As far as I know, that's still been in question today.
Yeah.
My theory, I think we're going to find out around Monday. That's usually when Star Wars seems to lift the spoiler ban and they start talking about the previous episode. My theory, it's going to be an event series, because I don't think we talked about this, but I think we might have. But anyways, during the announcement last time, they talked about there are original series, there are limited series, and there are event series. Those are the three classifications of Disney Plus shows. Yeah. To me, that means original series lasts a couple seasons, limited series is 1 season, and event series is like 3 episodes, right? Obi-Wan is an event series. This is, I assume, an event series. I assume that this is going to be 3 weeks in December, leading up to Christmas, and on Christmas Eve we will start Mando season 3, because they said that's launching on Christmas. And Christmas Eve is a Friday.
Right? Mando is December next year, and now this is December next year.
Yeah.
So you think it just leads right in?
I think it leads right in. I think it's an event series. I think it's going to be 3 episodes. I think that's how long Obi-Wan's going to be. I think it's going to be like 3 episodes as well, like hour-long episodes.
Hour long, then great.
Yeah.
But if not, I would want more, especially from
that's my theory for what's going to happen. With that, now going forward, we have Mando season 3 coming. All right, and that is, besides Boba Fett, which I think they're going to rework a lot of their ideas from the movie that got canceled into that. I think that's going to be like, we're going to see him kind of reestablish a foothold. We're going to find out what happened to him in between Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian.
That will be like interspersed, right? Like flashbacks.
Yeah. I think we're going to get like
season 1 of Mando with the flashbacks of the Clone Wars. Yeah.
I think we're going to get like, I think it's going to be I don't think it's going to further the story of this kind of time period.
Right.
I think it's just going to establish Boba Fett back into the universe. And then I think Mando season 3, I would not be surprised if we don't see Grogu in it.
It'll be a big deal if and when they bring him back in. Because I think we spoke about this last week. We got to experience an episode without him, and it was really refreshing. And I think you've hit that point of critical mass now. It's like you couldn't get any cuter. You can't cut to him any more than you already are. You have to either shit or get off the part at a certain point. Another Clerks reference.
Yes.
And I think definitely maybe towards the later half of the next season, then maybe you find a way. I don't know what way that is without it just being like Luke, like he keeps shitting everywhere. I can't deal with this kid. Have him back. But I'm sure I have faith that they'll figure that part of it out more than I do about the Boba Fett thing, which I'll get to in a minute.
I still think that we're leading up to Thrawn. that's the crossover. I think Luke's going to show up to help with Thrawn, and he's going to bring Baby Yoda with him. And then I think Baby Yoda, Grogu, is going to go. I think when we're done with everything, Grogu's going to part ways from Luke and go with Mando after Thrawn is dealt with.
I agree.
I would not be surprised if we do not see him again until either the last season of The Mandalorian before the crossover or at the beginning of the crossover.
I agree.
I think he's gone for now. I think The Mandalorian is going to become not literally, but it's going to become The Mandalorians. It's going to be all about Mandalore. We're going to have, I think, Rangers of the New Republic. We're going to bring Moff Gideon over to that show.
Yeah. Yep.
And we're going to deal with him there. And I think Ahsoka is going to deal with the Thrawn stuff and then the Ezra stuff. And it's all going to come together. We're going to get our Thrawn series. I think they're going to get Sebastian Stan at that point and bring him in as Luke.
Yeah, but what a shitty wasted opportunity.
I agree.
In this one, if that's what they end up doing.
Considering we're getting so much backdoor pilot stuff in the season.
I agree.
They've done it so well up until now. However,
I think they really wanted to hide it. They didn't want to cast him in it, you know?
So as soon as there's anyone on that sheet, on that full sheet, then it's going to get out, which we've seen.
Yeah. I mean, look at how this season leaked. Like, there was almost no surprises in this season. Luke was the only real surprise in the season.
Yeah,
pretty much every other actor.
Yeah,
everything. I mean, we knew Boba Fett was coming back pretty much. We knew that
coming back.
Yeah, we knew pretty much everything about this season.
The rumor that Tamura Morrison was going to come back and play
Lex.
So we didn't see that. So is that or did he shoot stuff?
He's in Ahsoka. I think he's in Ahsoka.
What, Rex?
Rangers or something like that. Yeah,
I agree.
You think we're going to get like some cross? You think it'll be around the time period of where the Bad Batch is? So maybe we can see him. Or at least, not that same character. It's not the same character.
The Bad Batch is picks up right after Return
Clone
of the
Wars.
Sith, Revenge of the Sith, pretty much.
Yeah, but what I mean is just like for the actor, we're gonna have Tamura Morrison kind of appearing throughout the different time periods as different versions.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
I don't know.
You know what? He fucking might be in Bad Batch. Fennec Shand is in it.
True.
Maybe we'll get a Boba appearance at some point.
Wow, that could be cool.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Boba Fett show though now, because I don't know. Do you guys kind of agree with my lineup of like where we're headed?
It either being a movie or a 3-episode event series makes more sense than anything. Otherwise, why would they run Mandalorian and a Boba Fett series at the same time?
Yeah,
wouldn't make sense.
Part of me was thinking maybe it's like a Disney Plus movie, but
it might be.
Because I kind of feel like they want to like this whole mini event series kind of moniker. I kind of feel like for the first time that they do that, they're going to want it to actually be a mini event. And if you call the Boba Fett series a mini event series, and the next time you announce a mini event series, it's going to be like, oh, well, that was kind of just like a small thing with just like one character. It's not that big a deal. I think they want the event series to be an event series. So,
but Obi-Wan would be the next one, and everybody's super stoked for that.
Yeah,
I think as of right now, if I'm remembering things correctly, I don't think there is any movies in either Marvel or Star Wars announced for Disney Plus.
Yeah, no,
I think it's all either series or like there's the Guardians Holiday Special, but that's not a movie. That's going to be like a 40-minute thing,
Yeah.
So maybe less. But I think they're going to keep them in series for now. They keep saying maybe we'll see a movie on Disney Plus eventually, but it doesn't seem like that's coming anytime soon. I do want to bring up, I found this out, Bib Fortuna. First of all, that was Bib Fortuna. And I freaked the fuck out. I thought that was awesome.
Just the recreation of that whole palace was cool.
Second of all, played by Matthew Wood, who played Bib Fortuna in the prequels.
Oh, wow.
Who also is one of the head sound engineers at Lucasfilm and is the voice of General Grievous.
Oh, cool.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Cool. My girlfriend is freaking out when Fennec standing on the platform. She's like, don't stand on that. Do not stand. Not there.
I was thinking that too. I was like, dude, if they have a new Rancor under there.
was getting ready
I don't know
for
if
it.
you can see over my shoulder. I've got a vintage Rancor.
I see that, dude. That's dope.
From
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi came out when I was a kid. So,
and the very last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll let you guys say whatever you have to say left, and then we'll wrap up.
I've got stuff on Boba Fett series.
The most important thing about this Boba Fett series, about this teaser, the thing that happened in this that is the most important. Somebody said McClunky. McClunky continues. McClunky continues. Somebody goes McClunky, and I went, yes.
That pissed me off so bad.
I love McClunky so much. McClunky is my favorite thing.
They're trying to work
I'm just glad I've got the original trilogy theatrical version. I made this decision the other day of my Star Wars collection of DVDs and Blu-rays. I took out I never bought the sequel trilogy or the prequels, F that, but I took out from there my new edition, revitalized, whatever bullshit original trilogy. I took those out. They are no longer on the shelf with my Star Wars stuff. I took out Force Awakens because I'm never going to watch The Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker again. So I do enjoy Force Awakens, but I took it out from the collection because I'm not going to watch it.
It's up disappointment. That's fair.
I got my flash drive. Right here, baby. The original theatrical versions of the original trilogy.
And
right here.
Got the coordinates to Moff Gideon's ship on there, I believe.
Yes, as well.
It's grainy. It looks like shit. I love it. It looks just like it did when I was 5 years old, man.
I love it.
That's how Mama used to make it.
All right, Dean, you said you had thoughts on the Boba Fett series.
All right, so here's my thing with Boba Fett. The big question when Boba Fett was introduced or reintroduced into this series was the code of honor. I said I'm going to help you with the kid. Now I am legally binding me and Fennec, to get in on that with you, which indicates a massive character change between the original trilogy and now, right? Which is an unanswered area, which is fine. We can flesh that out in a comic or with flashbacks in the Boba Fett series. That's fine. But he's clearly made some very significant changes personality-wise since then. So then after helping, it's like, great, I finally helped somebody. I did some good stuff. And now all of a sudden I've just got more beef with Bib Fortuna and the Thing Palace. Again,
I just wondered why he went back there too.
He just strolls back in there.
Yeah.
And just murders everyone. So despite all those good morals that he's learned, he now just wants to retake over the criminal underworld, which also is apparently as easy as just walking in there with 2 people and just shooting everyone. So why have you not just done that before?
I'm going to say 2 things. First of all, they don't kill everybody. Don't forget, they free a slave. Now, I'm going to say that already makes them better. No. That already makes them better than anybody that's run Jabba's palace in the past. The second thing I'm going to say is that Jabba's palace did not look like it was anywhere near as important as it used to be. It looks like Bib Fortuna ran that place into the ground.
Yeah.
There's like nobody there. I think he's gonna be like, I'm gonna bring a sense of class back to the criminal underworld. I do think that he's changed.
Brando.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be like, I'm gonna be a bad guy. Like, I'm gonna be
criminally, but still,
I'm gonna be a criminal, but we're not having slaves. We're not like this stuff. Like,
we're not selling drugs. We're not.
I think he's still going to sell
out of the drug business. We're not selling. I'm talking about Godfather. Come on, man.
Okay. Yeah, but we're talking about Star Wars. Man. We're an hour and 20 minutes into this. We're talking about Star Wars.
And now for the Godfather spoiler review, everybody.
Okay, everybody. That's the next hour and a half. No, but I do think that this Boba Fett is going to be still a criminal. Still, I think he's gonna still try to like establish himself and become a big part of the criminal underworld. But I think he's gonna be like, we're gonna bring a sense of class to this. I kind of think that's where that's going.
Did either of you guys watch the Luke Cage Netflix series?
Parts of it.
Nope.
All right. Well, spoiler alert for the Luke Cage Netflix series. This end credit scene for Boba Fett is basically the last scene of the Luke Cage Netflix series where
Is it?
I've heard about this.
He defeats the gang, the bad guys, whatever, and it's all fine. And then out of nowhere, Luke Cage just strolls into the bad guys club, which is obviously now vacated, and he sits on the dude's chair in a fancy suit, and it's the same fucking shot of Luke Cage sitting in the big mob boss's chair. And we never got a resolution to that because the shows are done.
Yeah.
And the end.
Does he say "Sweet Christmas"?
Maybe it's been a while. I mean, like this, it was okay, but it was, and this just felt the exact same thing. If anyone, just go and check that out. It is the same fucking shot, but it's with an extra Fennec Shang. Fennec Shang? Did I say it's Fennec Shack?
Fennec Shand, I believe. Shand, yeah.
It just reminded me of that picture from photoshopped picture of Boba Fett sitting on the Game of Thrones throne.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, dude, that's
a lot of things.
Awesome.
It's cool, but I just kind of felt like we kind of set up in the series that we've taken his character one way, and now we're, now he's maybe negating that.
I never got the feeling that there was any big personality change or anything. I just kind of took it like, yeah, that's Boba Fett. He wants his armor back. He made a deal to get it back, so it's not a huge hassle.
But then he got the armor back.
He's going to go back.
I think
I'm going to help you to the end now because I've made a blood pact with you and the kid, and I'm going to go all the way and save everyone because it's honor. And he never had no fucking honor before. So if you're going to set that up,
do we know that?
We
know he never had any honor. I mean, we know that when he was a kid in the Clone Wars, he was a little punk bitch. But I think we don't know anything about him as an adult other than what we saw in the original trilogy, which wasn't much.
And maybe we'll explore that internal stuff.
Yes.
In the
I think we've started to. I think he says in The Mandalorian that Fennec Shand was also given a second chance by the dunes of Tatooine or whatever he says. Like me. So I think he has come out of his experience with the Sarlacc pit, changed, seeing a second chance at life, like he should be dead, but he's not. And I think that we're going to explore that December 2021 in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
And I will be there to cover it. I'm sure, Wade, you'll be there to cover it. Dean.
I already have the name for the show.
All right.
I'm going to allow it to cover me and absorb it into my body.
All right. Amazing. We'll be there to cover it. Before that will be the Bad Batch. We're going to try to cover that, I think.
Well,
We are. Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to come out and say that we were going to do it.
I have to host that shit.
Okay.
We are covering that.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to come out and say it already. We don't know when that's airing. It'll be, I would assume, sometime before Boba Fett.
Yeah, we got a name for that show already too, baby. It's on.
But I think that'll be the next thing. But I mean, for now, I just very, very quickly, because we're going long, and I want to wrap this up. I want to start with you, Dean. Overall thoughts on The Mandalorian Season 2, succinct.
I'm not going to lie, guys. This last episode has really knocked the whole season down a bit. It was really generally on the up and up with a few kinks in the road. But seeing it all come to this point and kind of accepting all the fan service and the stuff that was done so well to then kind of do it not so well here. So which in retrospect kind of put season 1 back up again, because while season 1 didn't have the highs, it didn't have any of necessarily of the lows. I'm definitely gonna be rewatching season 1 with recontextualizing with this stuff. What can I say, guys? Look, I can have the most meaningful insights. If you can't put these things into a strict fucking ranking system in their neat little cardboard boxes in a filing cabinet, these guys just want nothing to do with it. Come back next season, I'm going to be deep faked with Mark Hamill. That's it.
Wade.
I loved it, man. I loved it. I'm still iffy on episode 2 with the spiders and shit, but
That was a better episode than this episode. I'm going to say that.
You had your 2 cents. Sit down. No, I dug it, dude. I enjoyed it more than the first season. I just, like I said, I'm a little soured that they got Baby Gogurt back. I'm soured that he did not officially go to the dark side. I think they blew the opportunity to have Sebastian Stan or any real actor in that place of Luke. They pigeonholed themselves by doing that. But other than that, dude, I'm completely thrilled with Boba Fett, everything Boba Fett from this. I mean, dude, yes, that Boba Fett, man. What else can I say? Dude, yes, Boba
Fett. Yeah.
Heard of him.
I loved this season. This season turned Boba Fett into a character that I did not care about at all, into one that I'm very excited for his show next season. I was not a fan of the Ahsoka episode. I didn't like how they brought her into The Mandalorian into live action. I loved Bo-Katan. I continue to love every appearance of Bo-Katan in live action. I think they've done a fantastic job. I think this episode has higher highs than the season 1 does. I think I like the finale of season 1 more than the finale of season 2. I think, again, we get into the whole kind of, I think it loses focus at the end of season 2. Whereas I don't think season 1 shares that problem. I think they're about equal overall, but if I were to rank all of the episodes from both seasons, there would be more season 2 episodes towards the top than season 1 episodes. But I do think that when I compare them as a whole to each other, I think they're about equal in my head. So, I still loved it. I'm so excited for Bad Batch. I'm so excited for the Book of Boba Fett. I'm so excited for Mandalorian Season 3, Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Acolyte, everything. I'm so excited for everything coming from Star Wars. I hope that you guys will join us for whatever we do with that.
Definitely. Everything you said about the seasons evening out is what I was trying to show. And didn't.
Of course.
And
all right. You were fired. I can't get fired from this show, but Wade could fire me from other shows. So I guess I don't know which shows he could fire me from, but I think that
we need to go over those contracts, guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well,
I don't know who's
there is a little. Well, maybe just do a quick tease. There is a little something, maybe a little crossover something that I've been working on.
Yeah.
That we're gonna at least do a pre-recorded pilot for to see how it works out.
Yes.
So that may in fact work out. If it does work out, that will be a 6-episode miniseries. So
yeah,
that could be a lot of fucking fun.
All event series we haven't decided yet.
And Wade could fire me from that. But for now, Dean, where can the people find you online?
Not on this show. Dean Lewis, 1999 on Twitter. Get it.
Wade.
Y'all can find me at jwade1134, the letter J, WADE 1134. Check the bio. Also, if you don't mind, follow at the JCast Network, where we have a Schmodown show called Speaking of Schmodown. We go live tomorrow with second episode at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Awesome.
Yep.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Shawn_AFK. All the podcasts that I do are in my bio. You guys can find this show and others on the Merc Movie blog feed, which can be located on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Radio Public, Breaker, and Overcast. You guys can follow Merc Movie blog on Twitter at MovieBlogMerc. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this season. I'd say probably next season we'd stick to the same time, but we changed times in between season 1 and 2, so who knows where we'll be a year from now. But we will definitely announce when we'll be doing these shows for season 3 and whatever else we do. But Dean, thank you so much for joining us for this season. Wade,
and we're working on a WandaVision show. Sorry. Why don't you say that real quick too? We're working on a WandaVision show.
But we're not sure everything about that.
We're figuring that out, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't have
a show to do right now, actually, Shawn. You got to go.
I got to go. We don't have exact timings for anything, is my point. But when we do have exact times, we will share them. Dean, thank you so much for joining us on this season. So excited to have you on future Star Wars or Marvel-related things. We'll have you back. You're not getting away that easy. Wade, thank you so much for joining me again on a second season of Hey Mando and for allowing me to kind of take the reins and lead this show. I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's been a blast. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for listening. or watching.